This role play is for a class assignment and it's not a real counseling session. So it's good to see you again, April. How are you doing today?
Not great.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Did anything happen today to make you feel that way?
No, not really. I just kind of woke up feeling like this.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll start to feel better once we finish today. Now, I do understand that you have met with some of the other members of our team.
Yes, I have. I saw the dietitian earlier today, and she set me up on a new meal plan that she's, I guess, thinking is gonna kind of help.
Mm-hmm.
So, the nurse practitioner, she wants to start me on a new medication for my diabetes because the other medication wasn't working too well. It kind of had me feeling some type of way, so she wanted to change to a different medication and see if that one would, I guess, be more effective.
Oh, well, that's great. Hopefully this new medicine will help regulate your condition without causing any major disruptions. So that's good. Now, the last time we spoke, we talked a little bit about confidentiality. Did you have any questions about that?
No, I remember.
Okay, great. Because I want you to feel comfortable while you're here and to know that everything we talk about is confidential. It's important for me, or important to me, that you feel safe. I know how difficult it can be to talk about sensitive subjects. So are you okay with going ahead and meeting with me and working with me?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, great. Okay. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing and what brings you in today.
I'm really just feeling really low, and just kind of feel like you have I guess like plans that you make for your life, and I guess these goals that you kind of set for yourself, and you think that according to that plan you should be able to reach those goals, and by 30 this will happen, or by this age this will happen, and then like when it doesn't happen the way you planned it, you just kind of feel like you're a failure, and so, or like you're less than, or start kind of questioning all your abilities and whether or not you're good enough. And so I just I think that's where I am, and it's like everything was going in the right direction that I planned, and then I don't know, stuff just kind of got messed up, and it's like it was all my fault. So I don't know,
Okay. So you're finding yourself in a place where things aren't going as you had planned, and you're taking the blame for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's my fault, and since it's my fault, I just feel like really worthless, and I just feel like a failure. Like I've underachieved greatly. Like there was so much more stuff that I could have achieved or attained, and it's just like I just didn't.
So what happened? Like you said you had a plan, things that you wanted to do in life. What derailed you from that?
Just like not me taking care of my responsibilities and taking advantage of some of the opportunities that could have been, or that were provided to me, or some opportunities that were just available, but I think a lot of fear and just feeling like I don't know, like I couldn't do it, and then not taking care of myself, which led to the medical issue now, and then the medical issue became another issue that I had to deal with and got in the way of being able to do other things. So
okay. So excuse me, day to day, what does your normal day look like? Like what happens with you?
Well, I mean, nothing really. I'm living with my sister, and that's lame. As an adult, I should be in my own, and I don't have a job right now, or I'm in between jobs. So every day I really just kind of sit on the couch and watch TV, and I guess try to disconnect from reality as much as possible, which is hard to do. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I do absolutely nothing. Okay. You know, I'm just sitting on the couch all day watching TV, and sometimes, you know, we pretty much argue all the time, me and my sister. And so whenever we argue, I just go back to the couch, and we don't usually talk for the rest of the night. So it's pretty boring.
That's it. So I know you're in between jobs. You have the medical issue that you're dealing with right now. Why do you feel that you're not motivated to get off the couch and go maybe look for another job?
I think, like, I don't know, a lot of the rejection that I've gotten from other employers trying to go and get a job, and, you know, the diabetes being an issue with, you know, sometimes like absenteeism and timeliness, you know, because when they start checking references, of course, that's what my last job says, you know. So I think that kind of gets in the way. And even though it's a medical issue, they're still a business, you know, they still got a business to run. So they look at the fact that that might present a problem with me being able to be there and be functional. And after getting that kind of rejection, you know, a few times, I just got discouraged and didn't really want to try again, because it seems like it's always the same.
So, as far as your interaction with your sister, you say you guys argue a lot, like every day?
Yeah, just about.
What do you argue about?
You know, she's always asking me, like, what's my plan for my life, and what am I doing, and what do I plan on doing, and what is my next step? And I'm like, I don't know, you know, I've never been in this situation, and she expects for me to have this grand master plan to get out of my situation, and I've never been here before, so I don't know how to get out of this situation. And then she'll, you know, get on me about my insulin and my insulin levels, and, you know, what are my insulin levels, and, you know, have I been taking my medication? Have I taken it properly? Have I taken enough? And it just annoys me. Like, it just annoys me and makes me very upset, because, you know, she kind of treats me like I'm a child. And so when I tell her, like, you know, she's treating me like a child, then she has her, you know, rant that she comes back with me, you know, that I'm, you know, I should be more responsible. And then, I don't know, it just kind of goes back and forth from there.
So, how do you usually feel after you've engaged in this back and forth with your sister? Like, what happens for you then?
Well, you know, like I said, we go back and forth, we argue, and then once we separate, we just kind of both be quiet. Like, we don't talk to each other. We never, like, talk it out or anything like that. She just kind of goes her way, I go my way. I just go back, sit back on the couch, and just, I don't know. It's like, you know, the lowness that I feel is just constant. So it's not like it gets worse after an argument or better after. It's just constant. It's just always there. And, you know.
Okay. So, what about friends? Do you have any friends that you can talk to, spend time with?
I used to have friends, and, you know, but it seems like the more my situation, like, began to decline or progress, or whichever way you want to look at it, it just seems like, you know, they kind of trailed off, you know, and it's almost like I became more of a burden to them. Mm-hmm. So I've reached out to them before, and it just kind of seems like, you know, I needed to scale it back, because I didn't want them thinking I was only reaching out or always, you know, complaining or always having some issue. But then, like, when I stopped reaching out, to my surprise, or maybe it shouldn't be a surprise, I really didn't get them reaching out to me. So it just kind of sent a message to me that maybe I really didn't have anybody like I thought I did all that time before.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like a really difficult situation. I mean, the already stressful living situation with your sister, but then the feeling of being a burden to your friends as well. So I do understand that is very hard. So I do know the reason that you were referred here was because of the issues with depression that you've been battling. So one of the methods we're going to look into is cognitive behavior therapy. And it really is about taking captive those thoughts that we have that are negative, that affect our moods and our emotions and our behaviors. So basically, that's what cognitive behavior therapy does. It takes a look at the moods that we have. So, like, say when a situation happens, like with the job, you go to apply, but the automatic thought you have is, "I'm not going to get it. I'm not good enough for this job," or my past, work history, I'm just not going to get it. They're going to turn me down. Mm-hmm. So it's always a negative, which leads to your emotional reaction, which is worthlessness, failure. I'm not good enough. I'm never going to get out of this situation. And then that causes you to what? Go home, sit on the couch all day, watch TV, right. Isolate yourself, not talk to anybody. But it also causes you and your sister to have tension because, she may be asking, what's going on with you? What are you going to do with yourself? And you take it as, well, you really don't want me here. Or I'm not contributing anything, so that's why you keep picking at me. Yeah. Though she may be just asking because she's concerned, but because of the negative thought that came with that, that's all connected together. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it makes you defensive. Right. And you argue and fight with her, but then you retreat back into yourself. So you never really have closure with your sister on when y'all argue. Right. Or you never explain to her, this is how I'm feeling and this is why.
Well, yeah, that's true, because I do feel like since I can't contribute to the household, like that makes me worthless, and it does make me question, her intentions for asking me those questions, simply because, like I said, I've never been in this situation before, and to have someone constantly asking me about my next step when I don't know, about my day-to-day, practices as far as my medication and what I'm doing, when even though it's my first time being in a situation with, diabetes and especially this severe, I still try to be a competent adult. But when all of those things are going on, it really does make me feel like not only worthless and for failure, but like I'm really like incompetent for an adult to always have to ask me those kind of questions. And then the fact that I can't contribute to the household makes me somewhat feel like almost like I deserve, it. If those are her intentions, it's almost like I deserve it because it's not like I'm giving anything to the household anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, that's what we'll look into trying to change for you. Like I said, I understand this is a difficult situation and, how you feel and how things are going. You just kind of feel like you're in this endless cycle and nothing's going to change. So, like I said, the cognitive behavior therapy is going to help change your mood. That'll help you feel better. So, we'll meet like once a week for an hour, just for a certain number of sessions, pretty much however long you feel comfortable in, coming in and us, really getting some breakthrough and, you feeling better. And then, of course, outside of that, there'll be like certain assignments that I'll assign for you to do to practice what we've learned in the session. Okay. One of those is a mood journal that I have this chart that I'm going to give you. Okay. And it's separated by days of the week and hours of the day. And I want you to track your emotions or your moods throughout the day, like hour by hour, and the intensity of, like, say, the symptoms of depression you feel from like 0 to 100. Okay. Kind of give you an idea of how that fluctuates for you throughout the day. And then also allows you to take note of what you're doing at the time when these emotions hit. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of correlate to, well, when I do this, it makes me feel worse. Or as opposed to when I do this, I kind of feel a little bit better. So, it'll kind of help regulate your moods. And just, the more you practice it, the better you're able to control how you feel, in certain situations.
Okay.
Does it sound like something you'd be able to try?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind trying anything.
Okay.
Anything's got to be better than
What it is.
feeling like this.
Well, we'll do that this first week. You'll track that for me, and the next session we'll go over it and kind of see if we can see a pattern, from day to day, the ups and downs, just depending on what's happening for you at that particular time, especially dealing with your sister when she comes home or when you talk to her, hour by hour. Let's just see how that goes. Now, one thing I do want you to understand, though, is it's not really uncommon, like what you're dealing with. It's not uncommon for individuals who are diagnosed with an illness or, some kind of physical condition to suffer from mood fluctuations, like with depression. I mean, it's really difficult to make an adjustment when your life is going a certain way and things are okay. And then this thing happens all of a sudden and it changes everything. So, like I said, the cognitive behavioral therapy is really focused on helping you understand the connections between your thoughts, feelings, your behavior, your physical responses. Once you're able to recognize those negative thoughts, you can cut them off. As soon as they come into play, you can replace it with something, a new thought. Well, instead of you assuming, well, you're worthless because you can't get this job, let's look at the things you have accomplished. Because you have done things. You have gotten jobs before. Unfortunately, they ended because of the medical, but that wasn't anything about your ability. That was just a physical condition that you really have no control over. So once you start changing the way you think, you can start changing the way you feel. We have these thoughts that are going on in our minds all the time, and they really impact how we feel emotionally. So just to kind of give you an idea, like you said with your sister, when she's asking your plans, like you don't have an idea of what you want to do.
Right.
But that's hindered by the fact that you don't really have faith in yourself that you can do something to change your situation.
Right.
So you're plagued by, I'm not good enough, I'm worthless, I can't contribute anything. And really, this is just a temporary situation, right? Because before, you were doing that. You were handling business and responsibilities for yourself. You just hit a slump, had a medical issue that caused a few disruptions, and now you're just kind of working your way back up.
Right.
So, like I said, once you start recognizing those thoughts as they come, because a lot of times we don't recognize those thoughts.
Right.
They're just automatic. And we don't realize that, what I think affects the way I feel. It affects what I do. So, it's all connected. You think you're worthless, you feel worthless, you go home and you sit on the couch all day. Then you argue with your sister.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel even worse because you really love her, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's just the situation is stressful for both of you. So we'll work on that. Okay? So that first homework assignment, like I said, I'll give you that chart before you leave. You start working on that tomorrow through the next time we meet, which I'm hoping will be next Thursday or Friday, whichever is more convenient for you. Were there any other, issues that you felt maybe you wanted to address?
So, like, in this journal, if we take, for instance, a normal day at home with my sister, she comes home and she's getting on my case and we start to argue. I map out what on this mood journal?
Well, it's going to be, like I said, divided days of the week, hour by hour. So, say you wake up that morning, like you woke up today, you said you weren't feeling great. Well, let's kind of take a rating system from 0 to 100.